Chase, the theme for today, I mean, heading into the season, right?
I'm excited. I'm excited for this one, baby.
The Niners are loaded, right? Like, I think like even detractors of the 49ers would say that the Niners have talent. The Niners have a lot of good guys, like in different positions. They might not be as deep as they've ever been, but they still have high-level guys playing at every position. One thing I wanted to do here was rank pyramid style 4-3-2-1, go bottom to top, the most valuable 49ers. Who in the 25-26 season has the most value to this team? Expectations, what they've done in the past, all of it combined. It's a rich tapestry, as they like to say. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, Chase. So I'm going to pull up my list. I'm going to try and present it here. I mean, this is the first time I think we've ever done this.
Yeah, so, and Sage, while you're doing that, trying to get it up, something I will say is that if you're on the stream right now and you were like me and you saw the thumbnail coming in, let's see. Let's see it, because I don't know where the hell Sage is going with this. Sage is a guy who knows football, but some of the pictures and the places that I was seeing had me pretty bewildered. So let's see what we're talking about.
All right, let's see if we can get this thing up, Chase. I'm having a little difficulty here. It might not work. Let's see.
Should we throw up some chats? Let's see. Right here we got Naj. Chase just sliced that drive 40 yards right. Naj, you didn't see it though. I kept my eye on the ball. Back straight. That's the number one thing. Arm straight, back straight. Let's see. Max, say Sage for the pyramid. Sage, how we looking, baby? We getting it up there?
I don't know what's going on, man. It worked in the pre-draft meeting.
I mean, we could go old school, baby. I mean, pen and paper. That's no problem.
I can just share the entire screen if you want.
It's up to you, man. Hey, it's Sage's pyramid, baby. Whatever you want to do.
Apologies for the pyramid thing. All right, Chaser, I think we just got to go old school pen and paper here.
Pen and paper, that's no problem.
I can present pictures. You know what? I can do it like this. You know, this might be a funny way to do it.
Let's see what you got.
It might not work well. But let's see here. Hold on. It might actually spoil it if I do it like this.
This is going to be good for the pod.
Yeah, this is money right here. This is what they all came for. All right, Chaser.
Drum roll? Should we do a little bit of a drum roll?
Drum roll, please. And did it work?
Come on, baby. Come on, come to me now.
I don't think it's working, Chaser.
It's all right. Pen and paper, baby. Hey, adjust on the fly. This is a show. Right, this is entertainment business, baby.
No, we're gonna workshop this. I think that's like the number one note here. Okay, wait, hold on. I think it actually might work. Here we go. Is it working?
Oh, there we go. We got it. I got it on my end.
All right, let's see it. We're in full presentation mode now.
Full presentation mode. Okay, I really hope it doesn't go 1 through 10 right away.
No.
I hope it doesn't go 1 through 10 right away, but it's looking good right now. We got the Sphinx showing up. Okay, so we're going Egyptian style. I like
Egyptian style pyramid. Chase, reveal the first row, please, if you would. All right. It does not read left to right. We're going bottom to top here. Going from the left, we got Diomnor Lenore, Ricky Pearsall, Dominic Pooney, CJ West. I know rookie on there, a guy who's unproven, a cornerstone on your line, and then Diomnor Lenore, who some might think is too low. Chase, I'm going to start with Lenore. I mean, he really made a name for himself last year. The secondary really just is him, right? You got Mooney out. You got basically a bunch of question marks all over the line. You're a Diomnor Lenore injury away from being just Swiss cheese on the back end. He's a leader. He's tough. He's the guy who brings that personality, brings that culture, that Robert Saleh intensity. I feel like he embodies it. He's a guy who jaws with the best, goes at DK Metcalf, not just on the field, off the field. Ricky Pearsall, I mean, someone's got to be Brock's guy, right? Juwan's got a tight calf. George Kittle, I mean, he's getting up there. He was there last year, but Debo's gone. Ayuk's hurt. There's plenty of receptions to be had, plenty of touchdowns to be had. I mean, targets are going to be there. I think the Niners offense is going to be more explosive this year. So I feel like Pearsall's a guy who needs to step up. He's primed for it. He has the tools, but I feel like he has to put it together. First off season without lead in his chest. So this could be the time for him. I feel like he's, building a rapport. Seems like he's been the talk of training camp so far. Pooney, I mean, I'm just going to go with what the stats say. Pretty damn good O-lineman. Someone that, carries the O-line other than Trent. Cornerstone was a godsend last year, and he's a young player who's probably going to improve more this year. And then CJ West, man. I mean, the Niners 23rd in sacks last year, bottom half against the run. I know I'm putting a lot of chips on this guy's table right now, but I feel like CJ West is a guy who's going to be able to come in, clog up that middle, be that centerpiece in the defense since Buckner's been gone, right? Since Armstead was washed, that could stop the run, get after the quarterback, and just be a guy who's there. Someone you could rely on 3 downs, get after the quarterback and stop the run. So my bottom row here, we got Lenore to West, Chase.
All right, Sadra. So I'll start off. We had a lot of similarities at the start. So I actually had Diamador Lenore at number 7 as well. Like you brought up, the cornerbacks, not a lot of depth on this roster. So if you lose a guy like Diamador Lenore, who you just signed to an $88 million contract, that's going to be bad news. But he also brings that edge. Like you said, I mean, his interactions with DK where he'll be tweeting at you or posting on his IG Live at 12 o'clock saying, I'm going to lock you the fuck up. You ain't shit. And then goes and does it at 1 o'clock. So I love Diamador. He's going to be important. When it comes to Pearsall, definitely going to be valuable for the Niners. I had him at 11, though. So I didn't have him cracking the top 10. I had him at an 11. But interesting interview with Brock Purdy yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, Sage. But he was talking about Pearsall's development and how this offense is a little bit difficult, right, for incoming wide receivers. But especially think about with a guy like Purdy, he's got to throw people open. So with a guy like Pearsall, there was a lot of routes where he's like, Brock, I was open. Like, you got to look at me. And Brock saying, no, dude, you got to make that cut a little bit before. So you got to be a little bit earlier in this offense. I'm expecting a big jump up here for Pearsall. So I had him at 11, but I agree with you. And then Pooney, I had at 13. He's just a guard, Sage. I mean, he's a guard. I just think with the rest of this team, you can't have a guy like Dominic Pooney in there in the top 10 per se. But last couple of years, you really only had Trent Williams as the big guy on that O-line. So it's good to have a guy like that, the Pooney. But I don't know if I'd put him at 9. And then Sage, you're really loving CJ West.
I'm going to sip all the Kool-Aid. I'm going to take
You're
all the
putting a
softball
lot of your chips in the middle of the table on CJ West. It seems like he's going to be a good splash player where he'll be a guy who can maybe get a couple sacks, get a couple tackles in the backfield for you, but lacks a little bit of that gap integrity. I'm interested to see where you go with the rest of this list because I have a couple names that I think I'm going to put a little bit above CJ West.
All right. We'll go through who you left off, who I left off after. I think we can move up to the third row. Chase, if you'll reveal it, please.
Give it to me raw.
All right, Chaser. What do these 3 guys have in common? The last healthy season they all played, they were all pros. All 3 of these guys. CMC 2 years ago, Kittle and Warner last year. Warner, despite playing through the injury, still first-team All-Pro. Kittle, second-team All-Pro. Was he first?
I think he was definitely second-team All-Pro.
Yeah.
I think they gave it to Brock Bowers or Trey McBride.
So, yeah, I think Kittle second-team All-Pro. CMC first-team All-Pro 2 years ago. I messed that up. But doesn't take away from the fact George Kittle, I mean, probably the most consistent offensive player during the Shanahan era. He's the best red zone target other than Christian McCaffrey. Absolute stud. I mean, in a league where tight end is thin, it's coming up a little, but you've had a cornerstone for the past 7-8 years since he's been a rookie, has gone over 1,000 yards. I think it's 5 times, has led your team in receiving 4 times since being on the team. CMC, we know what CMC is. The Niners are 23-8 in games that Christian McCaffrey plays. You saw how lackluster the offense was without him, right? The red zone offense fell apart without Christian McCaffrey. You got him a little bit in that Bills game. You saw what he was, then he gets hurt. I'm expecting a huge bounce back here from him. Expecting Kittle to, keep a steady hand. I still think he's at his peak. He's going to keep it going. And then nothing really has to be said about Fred Warner, right? First team All-Pro, has been first team All-Pro 4 of the last 5 years. Your leader on the defense, right? The brains of the defense, a guy that every team would love to have. I mean, it just shows you these 3 guys, right? Like first team All-Pro caliber. They're on the 3rd row on the Niners, a team that some people think will miss the playoffs. It just shows you how deep this team still is. I couldn't put them on the 2nd or 1st row, Chase. Your thoughts here? Where do you think I have these guys? Too high, too low, or just right?
So, you know what's funny, Sage? I had them in the same exact order, but I had them each up a spot, right? So, or
okay.
No. So, you know what? I think I had them in the exact same order, Sage. So, I had George Kittle 6, I had Christian McCaffrey at 5, and I had Fred Warner at 4. So, with Kittle, you saw him on Sunday, or I think it was Saturday night at the Morgan Wallen concert.
Sure.
I think he's my favorite 49er since I've been watching. I just think that I really do. I think he's a spiritual leader, but other than that, I mean, what he does in the run game with his blocking, and I think this guy's going down as a top 5 tight end of all time. When it's said and done, when his career's over. Sage, I mean, look at the stats that he's putting up. He's 31. He's not slowing down at all. Love George Kittle. Christian McCaffrey had at 5, which sounds a little bit crazy when you think that he was the offensive player of the year 2 years ago, but we know what happened with the red zone offense last year without Christian McCaffrey. It was a nightmare. Shanahan had a little bit of a rough year with that because he didn't have his gadget guy with McCaffrey. We're all hoping that he's going to come back, be the same guy that he could be, because we know that he takes us up a level if we get that 2023 version of Christian McCaffrey. So no problem with McCaffrey there at 5. And then Sage, the leader of the defense, Fred Warner. I mean, what can you say about him? Plays the entire season. Had every excuse to give up with a chipped bone in his ankle. Played injured. Definitely wasn't the same guy, even though it looked like he was at his career apex before he got hurt early in that season. Sage, this 49ers defense finished 29th last year. I think a major reason for that was because Fred Warner was banged up. When he's at his best, I think he's been the best middle linebacker in football for the past 5 years. I think all 3 of these guys are getting gold jackets. Absolutely no problem where you had them.
I mean, Fred Warner, right? I mean, Pat Surtain was the defensive player of the year last year. Fred Warner was fast tracking that award until he got hurt, right? Like we're talking about this guy. I mean, that extension that he just signed this offseason, that thing's looking a lot different had he stayed healthy. So I just feel like it's tough because there's some teams out there where Fred would be the number 1 guy. Like maybe not number 1, but like he's up there. And to have him on the 3rd row just shows you like the Niners are still deep. Moving up to the next row, Chase, I feel like you're going to have the same as me. How could you not have these 2 guys? I mean, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, 2 guys playing 2 and probably the 2nd and 3rd most important positions in the NFL. I mean, they're holding together 2 of the 49ers' weakest position groups, but how elite they are, what they can do, what they are at their very best. I mean, they're steady. They provide leadership. They can just one man an entire side of the respective units. Trent with the left side of the O-line. Bosa with whatever side he lines up on the defensive line. 2 guys you love to have for a different reason. One gets after the quarterback. One protects your franchise quarterback. Chase, I can't imagine you have any problem with this.
So it's so funny, Sage. I did a little bit of a mock list behind the scenes to kind of counterbalance yours. And at 2-3, I had Trent Williams at 3. I had Nick Bosa at 2. But literally one of my notes was you could switch these guys. They're interchangeable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, with Nick Bosa, I think minus Ronnie Lott, this guy's the best defensive player the 49ers have ever had.
Wow.
Right? Well, yeah, I mean, Sage, look back at the history books. This guy was the defensive player of the year in 2022. Had a couple down years. I mean, maybe had a down year last year, but everything looks like he's as motivated. I think the fact that you're getting Mykel Williams in there on the other side of him and a guy like Bryce Huff is going to help out Nick Bosa a lot. I'm expecting a big year. And Trent Williams missed 7 games last year. Sage, what was their record in those 7 games? Do you know?
I'm going to say 1-6.
1-6. You hit it right on the head. This team is different without Trent Williams. Brock Purdy is not the same quarterback without Trent Williams. A lot of people say it. I think a lot of the younger tackles in the NFL, this is their favorite guy. They think he's the best to ever do it. And when you have a guy, I mean, like Sandra Bullock said, when you have a guy to protect the blind side of the quarterback, it changes what you could do. And yeah, so no doubt 3-2, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, 100%.
Just to get nitpicky with it, it comes down to that. It just comes down to what Trent Williams' absence impacts to the team, because no surprise here, we're going to see who's at number 1, but Trent's presence on the field directly impacts your number 1 guy. You look at this second row, CMC is not the same without Trent, right? Like George Kittle has to bear a heavier load. You need him more on the O-line blocking. Yeah. It just what his impact is on this team, the things you could do. I mean, you see when you get him out in motion, he annihilates cornerbacks, annihilates safeties. So it's hard to have Bosa above him, but like you said, they're interchangeable, leading to our number 1 guy.
One thing I will say, I want to make one more point about Nick Bosa, is that he's let's just call him the voice of reason. I agree with a good amount of Nick Bosa's opinions here. But Sage, think about this defense if Nick Bosa just goes down in week 1.
And we saw it last week.
This defense is fucked if they don't have Nick Bosa. I don't care who you brought in on that D-line. It all works with Nick Bosa. So that's why I had him at number 2.
It was the Bills game, right? He missed last year, and they hung 35 on us in the snow. It just shows you like what it means to have him versus not have him. But Chase,
100%,
leading to our number 1 guy. Can you even argue it? I mean, it's the quarterback.
There could only be one.
The guy who got paid $265 million this offseason. It had to be Brock Purdy. 23-13 with Purdy as a starter. I mean, people from whatever outlet, whatever angle of Niners media can try and get this Mac Jones thing going. It's bullshit. The team goes as far as Brock Purdy goes. I mean, last year in his quote-unquote down year, he was 10th in passing yards, 15th in passing touchdowns, 7th in QBR, missed a week, and Chase, the 49ers still dedicated a big portion of their salary to him. Kyle Shanahan came out with the quote this week. He said, or Brock said, I forget which podcast he was on, but he said Kyle came to him. He said, before the contracts, the discussions start, like, I want you to know you're our guy. I want to be here as long as you're here. We're tying our name to you, essentially. Like, we're going as far as you go. Chase, Purdy at 1. I can't imagine anyone else.
Sage, I was just hoping you weren't going to get on some bullshit and not put Brock Purdy at 1. Clearly, I mean, I have Brock Purdy at 1. When you're paying a guy $55 million a year, he's going to be the most valuable player on your team. I mean, if you just went into the 49ers front office today and you ask Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, if there's one player that can't go down in week 1 for you guys to try and make it back to the Super Bowl, who is it? Without hesitation, it's Brock Purdy. So it had to be him, Sage. I think that also, I'm expecting a big year for Brock. I think a lot of people gave him a lot of flack last year, which I thought was unfair. I truly thought it was unfair, but I'm bringing up a lot of the boxing conversations here, but I just feel like it's almost like when a boxer gets the championship belt, you always have that saying, right, where it's like once you win the title, you get about 10% better because you're a little bit more confident, you're a little bit more assured in your abilities, and I think that's going to happen with Brock. He was playing for big-time money, $250 million. He's going to be good for the rest of his life. The next 3 generations of the Purdy family is going to be good for life because he signed this contract. So I think he's going to be loose. I think that Brock, I don't know. I just trust this guy, and he's our franchise quarterback. We've never really been married to a guy, Sage, my entire time as a 49er fan. But now we got him, and, yeah, he's our most valuable player for sure.
All right, Chaser. I think that's going to do it. Our first edition of the 49ers Pyramid. Thoughts on the graphic, thoughts on the transition, the smoothness of it, post the launch difficulties?
Well, I mean, I think right when it started, no, I'm just kidding. We obviously had a little bit of difficulty, but no, I mean, the pyramid the pyramid looks great. You were able to go down under pressure. I'm just hoping that the 49ers laying Super Bowls could match the level of ice in your veins that you just had there, getting this all set up. But I did have some disagreements with you, Sage, like I brought up. There were a couple people that you left off. Nothing huge, but 10, 9, and 8. So my 10, 9, and 8, I didn't have any of your 10 through 8 in the list. I had Michael Williams at 10. I just think that being opposite of Nick Bosa, with a lot of the hype that you've been hearing out of camp, if he could be a guy who has that all-pro level talent, it's going to just open up the door for Nick Bosa to be a complete animal. And with Robert Saleh back, to get some of that D-line performance that we saw in that 2019 year that we all remember. So I had Michael at 10. I switched out CJ for Alfred Collins, right? Because we know that Alfred Collins is the guy who's drafted in the second round. He's more of that guy where he has the wide base. He's going to be a run stopper. He's a guy who could eat up double teams. So we all know what happened with the 49ers defense last year. They could not stop the run. So I just felt like with a guy like Alfred Collins, who coming out of Texas was a guy that everybody knew was going to be a run stopper. I had him at number 9. I did have CJ West, like I said, I think at 16. But at number 8, I honestly think after going back on it, I agree with you. I just put Brandon Ayuk at 8. So I just switched out wide receiver to wide receiver. And that's because I think with all the reports that you're hearing from Matt Mayoko in training camp, I think there's a good chance that Brandon Ayuk is going to be able to come back by week 5, and he's our wide receiver 1. I mean, whatever you want to say, he's making $30 million a year. I'm hoping that Ricky Pearsall could burst through and be an impact player. But yeah, I mean, if Brandon Ayuk returns and is the Brandon Ayuk that we remember, it takes this offense to an entirely different level. So that's why I had him at number 8. But overall, great list, Sage.
I think the thing about Pearsall though is that when you look at like his metrics, right, in the combine, what he did in the 3-cone drill, his shuttle, whatever the fuck they brag about, like it seems like in the way they deployed him, he's the Debo replacement. Last year, obviously, got shot, didn't have a training camp, got injured. I feel like this is like a true, even though it's only year 2, like, but this is going to be a year where we kind of figure out who he is. I feel like they're going to use him more behind the line of scrimmage. There's going to be more opportunity. And this is me kind of just getting ahead of it. Same with CJ West, like saying like, I think these are the guys who are going to step up. I mean, I faded the Isaiah Nair crowd. I'm 1 for 1. So I'm getting a little heat checky here, Chase. I'm going with Pearsall and then CJ West, the ultimate heat check at 10.
Yeah. So I had Isaiah Nair at 52, but yeah, unfortunately I'm going to have to switch up that list a little bit now.
All right, Chaser. I thought that was successful. I mean, a little rough at first.